For our econ project, we decided to do research about slow economic growth in South Africa. To make sure we have enough information, we did our research of economic growth in 2016. This is by Varsha and Abby.
South Africa was once ruled by a white minority government, which enforced separation of race in its cities. After decades of international isolation, armed opposition, and mass protests, the apartheid government was eventually out of power. Even though the apartheid government is now out of power, it has left a lasting impact on the country. The unemployment rate in South Africa is 26.6%, and a third of the population receive monthly grants to keep them out of poverty.
In 2016, South Africa had a 1.6 economic growth rate. Although this is similar to other economically developed countries, according to the graph, the orange line, which is South Africa, compared to other countries, has an extremely plateaued real GDP growth rate. South Africa has one of the highest unemployment rates around the world. It is above Greece and Spain, and sadly the unemployment rate keeps rising each year. From 2008, it was 22.6%, and now more recently, in 2016, it was 26.7%.
There are many reasons for slow economic growth in South Africa. One of the most important reasons were related to external shocks in 2015, where the price of almost all mining commodities crashed as the Chinese economy slowed down, which caused the prices to decline by 60% on average for the main mining products exported by South Africa. Another reason was that there's less productivity and lower participation rates in the labor market because of widespread poverty, high inequality, and the HIV prevalence rate.
And the lack of government policies to address issues like infrastructure and poverty is also a huge factor in the slow growth of the economy.
The Reserve Bank governor said that there was a very clear signal that public policy and political uncertainty is impacting the confidence of investors.
Although South Africa may have slow growth, that may not always be the case. There are many ways South Africa can improve its overall well-being of citizens. The first way to help the economy would be to have a consistent economic policy so other countries know what their policies are. Quoted from the Daily Maverick produced in South Africa, specifically the government would do itself enormous favors by spelling out its goals on a basket of property rights issues, including land, agricultural reform, and intellectual property rights. End quote. They should also assess the fiscal situation by becoming more confident in financial markets. Just economic policy won't boost South Africa's economy, but the advancements in way of life will. More specifically, the creation of new jobs. From infrastructure investment like creating roads and ports would add multiple jobs and eventually lower the cost of transportation. Another way to add jobs is to get with the rest of the world with different forms of energy, like rooftop solar panels and natural gas. This will give an abundance of technological and construction jobs to the consumers, and eventually will increase productivity gains, which will open new doors to new companies. Last but not least, racism is extremely prevalent in South Africa, and there is a vast economic difference between whites and blacks in South Africa, with 69% of whites in top management sectors, whereas there's only 9.9% of blacks. In all honesty, there is a fight for power, but whites have an advantage through the Helsinki-Levinsky framework, which shapes unfair corporate governance. Because right now the laws protect white property rights and not blacks. There needs to be a change so the economy can grow and the overall unemployment rate can become lower. Overall, South Africa has many ways to fix its slow growth. The biggest reasons why they aren't advancing like other countries is because of inconsistent policies, political instability, and racism within the country. I hope you all learned a little something about South Africa. Thanks for watching!